So starting the test drive off in this Kicks, I put it in sport mode to accelerate there, and it is a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder. It's naturally aspirated, so I don't expect too much from it, but it got the job done merging into traffic there. I struggled a little bit, but that's not what you get these cars for. I kind of just wanted to test it out. But these are very good point A to point B cars because they're cheap to get in, they're cheap to operate, cheap to maintain. And you still get quite a bit of tech here, having the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility. We do get blind spot monitors here, and that's the indicator. The intelligent cruise control here is standard on the SR trim. And I just love the two-tone orange and black. It's one of my favorite, actually I think it is my favorite color combo in the Kicks particularly. And I do feel relatively comfortable even in this smaller vehicle here. The seat bottom is actually pretty wide for my wider stature. Now it's not as nice as, let's say, an Armada seat or something like that, but it is, again, my bottom isn't hanging over the side of the seat, so that's saying something. Overall visibility is very good. The hood just kind of comes up and then slants straight down, so it's very easy to see what's right in front of the front end. And then it helps just how, you know, you have the blind spot monitors, you have a relatively big windshield to see out of, and then just a tiny blind spot on my right side there. And I also like how easy it is to just reach the screen, especially for shorter people that tend to drive these vehicles. Most people that are 7 feet tall are going to try and avoid these if they can. And again, it's relatively spacious in here, so I wouldn't necessarily say, hey, you can't get in one of these, but taller people just tend to want bigger vehicles. But in here, I mean, my headroom, I still have several inches above my head, which is good, and the seat's actually up quite a bit. So it's not like I'm leaned back as far as I could go. But where was I? Here, everything's just right there. Push buttons right there, shifters right there, buttons are right here and all of that. I don't have to reach towards anything. And even get into the back seat, if I have, let's say, a bag I want to get something out of, it's pretty easy to just keep my eyes on the road, unzip, because I can feel everything. Me having longer arms, I can actually feel the back of the seat there. But it's still relatively spacious for this to be pretty much a subcompact SUV. Now, ride quality wise, so far, pretty solid. I like the steering feel for what it is. It's certainly not a sporty steering feel, but it feels sportier with this flat bottom leather wrap steering wheel. Certainly comfortable to steer. And it doesn't float down the road, but it's nice. Now what makes these so, I always call these the Sentra SUVs, or no, the Versa SUVs, because you have the same powertrain as the Versa. You have the 1.6 with the Xtronic CVT. This drives like a high top Versa. So I don't feel as low to the ground. I feel like I have a little bit more space here. But fuel economy is not gonna be as good. It's gonna be pretty close. And if you want the extra space, it's really not gonna matter. You're still getting 30 plus miles per gallon depending on where you're driving. But like the Versa, these are no speed demons. You have to realize that. But we're gonna try to give it a little pull getting on the interstate here. We're gonna put it in a sport mode. And no one's around. Here we go. So I'm not flooring it, but had to give it a little bit just to merge properly. But I love having the intelligent cruise control here, keeping that safe distance between myself and the vehicle in front of me. And on the interstate here, again, it's not the smoothest riding vehicle, but for what it is, it's about average. So again, for me, I don't know if I'd be as comfortable driving something like this, but I don't think it's necessarily uncomfortable for, let's say, a 2 to 3 hour road trip. Now, you start talking about 10, 11 hours, you're gonna have to get out and stretch, because the ride is, I don't wanna call it choppy, but it's not a Mercedes. You have to realize what it is. It's not even the Rogue. The Rogue rides much better. You gotta pay another 7 to 10 grand for something equipped like this, but you get more space and all of that. But most people get these for driving around town. Again, point A to point B cars, or just something if you're wanting to be as cheap as possible, but you still want something relatively nice. This is the way to go in this SR trim. So I want to give another big thank you to John Roberts Nissan for letting me review it. If you're interested in this one and you're in the area, definitely check out their website. And if you're not in the area and you want something a little closer to home and you want to make sure the dealers are giving you the best price, check out that link below in the description and I can hook you up with somebody. But I mean, it's 15% made in America, which is a fun fact. Mostly Mexico, but that's why you can get this so inexpensive. And I still think it's a solid car if you're wanting something, again, kind of a compact, subcompact SUV. You get good gas mileage, pretty easy to maintain, and it just gets the job done. It's kind of like the Versa, but again, an SUV version. So for what it is, no complaints there. But this will bring me to the end of my review of this 2024 Nissan Kicks in the SR trim level.